Hi, welcome to this presentation on the Bend Transportation Plan. I'm Karen Swirsky. I'm a senior planner with the City of Bend. I've had the honor of working with the city and the community over the last 2 years to craft the city's transportation vision and its plan for the next 20 years. We're really excited about the outcome, and the plan is almost complete. This short presentation tells you what's in it and how you can comment during the adoption by the Bend City Council. So, what is a transportation plan? Well, it's a plan for the next 20 years, and it serves everyone, including everybody who has a way to get around. It identifies the projects and the programs that are needed, and it lays out a way to pay for those. So why are we updating the plan now? Well, for one thing, our plan was last written in 2000, and you might have noticed Bend's changed a little bit over the last 20 years. It's growing fast. With that growth comes more people who need to get to work. They need to get to school, appointments, shopping, social events, and to recreate. So we need a transportation system that grows with us and helps people get where they want to safely, quickly, and conveniently. And so this update supports Ben's vision, which was completed in 2016 with an update of the comprehensive plan. So it both supports Ben today and for how it wants to grow into the future. We asked ourselves some questions to get going. And the first one was, what do we want our system to be like now and into the future? And in order to do that, what do we need to build? And when do we need to build it? Most importantly, how will we pay for it? And finally, really important to the community is how do we monitor whether or not we're actually doing what we said we were going to do? How do we measure our success? We had quite an involved public process over the last 2 years. We had a transportation advisory committee of over 25 people that was selected by council from a pool of over 90 candidates. We also had a partnership of the City Council, the Planning Commission, Deschutes County, and the Oregon Department of Transportation helping steer us and make important critical decisions. We had 2 citywide open houses and online surveys, and we had 5 really well-attended neighborhood workshops where we got a lot of really good public input. And all of our meetings, our 15 CTAC meetings and our 8 city steering committee meetings and numerous workshops were open to the public, and the public came. We started out by developing some goals to drive the rest of the plan. There are 7 goals. They basically cover safety, capacity, access to jobs and housing, livability, which is really important to Bend, equity, the environment, economic health, and funding. A key part of starting this process was identifying what our top needs were today and into the future. And we combined a lot of input and analysis to figure out what's working now, what needs to be fixed, and what should be the priorities. And we used both public input and quite a great technical analysis by a really outstanding consultant committee. What we heard from the public was the number one concern from everyone was safety, particularly for children. We also heard that it's really hard to get across town. And anybody who's been here for any length of time knows that we have some major barriers to east-west travel. We have a railroad, a river, and a highway. And so it's a challenging thing. There are limited ways to get across town, and that was something we needed to spend a lot of time and energy addressing. There are some ongoing projects such as Murphy Avenue and Empire Avenue, but more is needed. We also heard related to that is congestion in general. In key corridors, particularly east-west, particularly Reed Market Road, north-south, especially on the east side at 27th, and the Bend Parkway, particularly up north, but there are other congestion points on the Parkway. So we worked really closely with ODOT to identify those projects, and we'll talk about those in a second. We also heard loud and clear from the community that we have not been doing enough to support bicycling and walking. People want to feel safer and more comfortable. They want to be able to take their kids out. They want to be able to walk and bicycle separate from the roadways, and they really would like us to figure out a way to make safer crossings. We also heard that there's a lot of potential for transit in Bend, and the community wanted us to figure out ways to work with Cascades East Transit, who's our transit provider, to make it easier to use transit by having more routes, more service, better connections. And there was a lot of concern from the public about congestion at Hawthorne Station. People are very interested in technology, and they want to make sure we're ready for it now, what's available now, and what could be coming in the near future. Particularly things like smart traffic signals that are synchronized, information boards that tell people what's coming up and about weather, making sure all the folks who need to communicate with each other can do it easily, and also to be ready for electric vehicles as they show up. We also spent a lot of time talking about what will happen when we have automated vehicles. So what are our solutions? Well, there was a lot of discussion. The council was paying attention to our work and decided that they would come up with some immediate solutions and jumpstart the needed improvements that were identified through our process with the capital improvement program for the next few years, and dedicated $73 million to a bunch of projects, which you are probably seeing happening in all parts of the city now. So Murphy and Empire corridors, neighborhood greenways, and the neighborhood street safety program. The other things that we heard about, one of the solutions is to improve the function of the parkway. And this is where we worked really closely with Oregon Department of Transportation, or ODOT, make it easier and safer to get on and off the parkway, fix the north end, and build the Murphy Road interchange, which is the city's responsibility. Those things will make the parkway easier for everyone to use and reduce congestion at critical points. In the question of improving safety, while we were doing the work for the transportation plan, we were also doing a safety analysis of the city. And we found some surprising, or maybe not surprising, critical places where we had more crashes than expected. And so we are addressing those through projects around about at Bear Creek Road, and Purcell Road was one of our highest crash areas, and it's now a very large four-way stop. The Butler Market interchange as well, 3rd Street and Miller. And then we have a city program to make regular investments to improve neighborhood safety that is already initiated and it will be ongoing. So we wanted to see what we could do to improve connectivity. So I remember me saying that we have these issues with crosstown traffic and north-south traffic. So we wanted to look at where we could improve existing roads, such as Portland, 15th and 20, to finish some key roads, such as Purcell Boulevard, and particularly improve Reed Market. And we have 3 projects identified: the intersection at US 97 and at 3rd Street and 15th Street, and then also to create an overpass for the railroad tracks. So when the railroad particularly is doing its switching, we don't back up traffic for miles. One of the things that we discovered as we were doing our analysis is a lot of the roads that seem difficult are difficult because the intersections need to be improved. So we have a number of new roundabouts that we'd like to install. And we also need to go back to those smart traffic signals, particularly on 3rd Street, which synchronizes the signals and makes traffic flow more smoothly. We heard a lot about the fact that you can have sidewalks and bike lanes, but they're not usable when there's a foot of snow on the ground. So maintaining facilities year-round was a really big topic of discussion. Also, the need to make a full network of bicycle facilities that are friendly to everyone, that we're calling the low stress network, and infill key missing sidewalks, and then create connected cross-town routes. So we have 12 what we're calling key routes in the transportation plan that are connected series of protected bike lanes, wide sidewalks, pathways, etc. Whatever we could do to get folks literally from one side of town to the other, north, south, and east, west. And we also have some projects that help us support better transit in coordination with Cascades East Transit. Identified major routes where there'll be faster connections and more service, and the concept of hubs, where you can have bus-to-bus transfer. You don't have to go all the way back to Hawthorne Station, and there will be places for folks to rent or access what we call last mile travel. So you could take an e-bike to your house or get a ride share. And, you know, we have a lot of short-term needs. An awful lot of those projects I just talked about would be in the first short-term or mid-term. But we also know that this is a 20-year plan, and we have some long-term needs that we need to plan for. And these include things like frontage roads on South Highway 97, upgrading all of 27th to an urban upgrade as the city expands to the southeast, and to take a hard look at a new Southern Ridge River crossing, because our modeling shows that in 20 years, we will most likely need another bridge, and we want to put it in the best place possible. So we have this big old list of projects and programs. How do we prioritize them? And we didn't want to make a list where, you know, project number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We really wanted to put them in time frames for when our modeling and our analysis and public input said they are needed the most. So we have short term, which is 0 to 10 years. And then we have midterm, which is 10 to 16. And we have long term, which is 16 to 20. And that is what we're calling prioritizing. And after we prioritized them, then we worked on funding sources that were kind of associated with those timeframes. And those are things that we think are feasible for Bend, not easy necessarily, but feasible. And some of you may have recalled conversations about a general obligation bond that was going to be on the last May's ballot and got postponed because of the COVID crisis. But we expect that that will come back at some time. We are doing some urban renewal districts that will provide some funding for some critical projects in the Midtown. And we're looking at the opportunity for local improvement districts and development fees. We also heard loud and clear from the community and our advisory group that funding to maintain both not just new infrastructure, but existing infrastructure is really important. So we have identified that as a critical part of the transportation plan for funding. So that's the transportation plan in a nutshell. We are moving now to adoption process, which starts with a joint work session with the City Council and Planning Commission on July 13th. Before that, the whole TSP will be posted on the website for your review. If you go to the meeting details link, it will take you to a site that tells you where everything is, when, where, and how. From then, we'll go to the Planning Commission hearing. Same thing. We expect these meetings at the present time to be virtual. Things are changing daily, so you will be best served to go to the website and make sure that you know how to participate. And here are some links for that information about the upcoming work session. And to ask questions, you can contact me on the second bullet, and I'll do my best to get you answers, or you can provide me with commentary, testimony for the public hearings. And if you would like maybe a more lengthy, detailed presentation like this one, but with more detail to your neighborhood association, go to that link and request that. We can make that happen virtually. And thank you for your time. Thanks for sticking with this, and I hope to see you at one of our hearings.